Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Carolina Lightweight. Come grip it with us. When the action begins in the studio, our referees for tonight's event are Elgato Azul and Carolina Real Streamers. For the slime lovers in attendance and YouTube and Facebook users from around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the Elgato Azul TV studio in Louisville, Texas, it's time! What's up, slime lovers? Welcome to the Slime Show.
What's up, everybody?
We got my partner in slime down here, Mr. Jamie Dunn, Carolina Lightweights. Over here, we got Jesse James Campbell.
Yes, sir.
He's our Carolina Lightweights teammate and Mad Cat's teammate. So, welcome to the show, Jesse. Appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Man, it's an honor to be here. I appreciate y'all having me. Pretty cool.
Yeah, welcome to the show, brother.
Before we get started, let's go through the list, see who's in here real quick. Clayton, the certified fishing nut, says first. Derek from Operation Vets with Net says almost first. Jeff Gordon, what's up, buddy? I think he just got some stuff from you, didn't he, Jamie?
He sure did, man. Welcome, brother.
We got Jeff Martin, one of my hometown boys. We got Extreme Trophy Fishing, one of our Carolina Lightweights and Mad Cats teammates, Milton. Welcome in, buddy. We got Micah Burkhart, King of Tennessee. We got Shad Daddy. We got Eagle Eyes Tienda in the house. So, and Facebook user. We can't see who you are, but if you want to log in, we can see who you are over at Elgato Azul TV. If not, that's fine too. So tonight we got Jesse on the show. We're going to talk a little bit about CPR and fish conservation. And Jesse's got a unique lake. Some rivers have to deal with the same deal, but he's got a lake that's got a consumption ban on it. It's been contaminated with PCBs from back in the 60s and 70s. And you are not allowed to keep I don't know if you're allowed to keep any fish, but you can't keep big fish out of this lake. So it's a CPR catch and release for catfish. Now, I'm sure there's some guys that don't pay any mind to that and don't mind eating something that makes you glow in the dark, but
yeah, for sure. You got them old timers, man. They're always asking me, hey, you got a fish?
So, yep. So, Jesse, he's also a big-time gar fisherman in the summer. He's fairly new to it, but you would never know it. He's got some giants under his belt, and seems like he's always catching one that's right close to 7 feet. So,
yeah.
He has a good year for me, that's for sure.
I got to go fishing with him a couple times. We had a good old time. I ended up getting, I don't remember. It was a pretty good one for me. 6-footer. I mean.
Yeah, right off the bat. That don't usually happen, gar fishing.
Man, and he hung into one that was even bigger. He didn't get it. Yeah, Jamie, you're going to come down and do some of that with us sometime.
I was going to say, man, I get to see all the pictures, and it makes me jealous. Y'all boys have been killing it down there.
So what was your biggest one this year?
7'3".
Yeah. What's that weight estimate on one like that?
I think around 200 pounds. I got this. I just looked it up online. They got a little equation you can plug in. Like 200 something pounds.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It truly looked like an alligator too. Like when you're holding that thing. One of our other guys in here, Milton, he's a guy. He guides for him. He's a big time guide for him. He hammers them too. So we got Tim King in here. Congratulations on your 100-pounder, Tim. I wish I had a picture of that one, buddy. Tim got him 103-pounder. So,
congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
And we got Mike in here. He obviously got a couple hundreds under his belt. Lone Star Hookers going to catch some big sharks next year. Just wait. Yeah.
Send us some of that luck this weekend. Maybe we can catch a 100-pounder in the tournament this weekend.
Where y'all fishing this weekend?
We're back on the north end of Santee Cooper this weekend.
Oh, nice. You got a different game plan? Y'all got a cold front blowing in?
Well, matter of fact, we got one today. I think we're down to 36 last night.
Yeah, we're on day 3 of that here.
Yep. So we're going to an area we fish one time a year. That's it.
Yeah, if I would say if Jesse had a little more wind, he'd be primed to freaking hammer them. But about 3 days after that major front hits, it's usually pretty dang good.
Yeah,
the day after usually starts getting pretty good, but 2-3 days after, it's usually hammer time.
I love right before a cold front myself too.
Yeah.
Tim says that's his 3rd fish over 100.
Nice.
He's spoiled, man. He's fishing that lake's just incredible.
Wow.
A lot of you guys out east, man, y'all got it's just a little different ball game for y'all's upper end fish.
Yeah, they're definitely out there, man. They catch, quite a few over 100 pounds. Just in that tournament that we're in last year, I believe 3 or 4 was caught that was over 100 pounds last year.
Texas, when I was a younger fisherman, was considered the best trophy catfish state in the country, but man, it just got blown by. It's not even close now.
Yeah.
Our high end fish, they still catch a few that are up there, but it is very rare that one gets caught over 100 pounds like Texas.
Man.
Why do you think that is? Jesse, why do you think Texas doesn't have so many 100-pounders coming out of it like some of these other states?
Probably from not doing enough CPR.
That's true. I mean, the first supersized bluecat that was caught in the country came out of Texas back in 2004. That thing was like 123 pounds. But since then, there's only been a handful of 100-pounders caught out of the state, 20 years. So,
wow.
There's just not very many of them. But maybe with guys like Jesse, standing up for the big fish, guys like myself, trying to help guys understand why you need to turn them loose, maybe we can start growing them big again here.
Yeah, I hope so. Because the lake I'm on right now is a tiny lake, and it's got some big fish in it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my lake was considered one of the best in the country. I mean, when you look back at the old publications, they talked about Lake Louisville. Fast forward 30 years, nobody even's ever heard of that lake because it just got overfished and hammered and destroyed, over time. So CPR there was no CPR back.
Right.
Well, I know myself, man. You hear a lot about CPR this day and time. Everywhere you go, we got a lot of people down towards the Santee area and even around here on the rivers. We hear quite a bit about, CPR, throwing the big ones back. So it's actually catching on quite a bit around here.
Yeah, it was funny. My mother-in-law, she thought it was actually giving CPR to a fish. We were out eating last night. She was over there. It was hilarious, man.
Man, Chris looks like you froze up on us, buddy.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I was about to say I didn't hear him say anything. I was wondering what in the world's going on over there. But Jesse, that lake that you're on, how big is that lake, man? I know I've heard y'all say a couple times it was kind of small. How big is that when you're on?
And it's a real small reservoir. You know, the deepest spot's like 24 foot, and that's when it's full. You know, we're pretty low here, but I don't know how many acres. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it ain't a very big lake.
You do a lot of fishing on it and have a lot of good luck?
Yeah. I've been fishing this lake pretty much my whole life, and my dad, you know, when he had his boat, we'd come out here a lot, and you know, the neighboring lake, real big lake, and it's just hard to catch trophies in that lake. There's so many guides and all the old school people, you know, they take all the fish out of there. And
yep.
So that consumption ban's really helped this lake out, in my opinion.
Is that the only lake that y'all have that's got that band on it?
Yeah, as far as I know. And that's for any bottom feeder. You're not supposed to take any catfish or carp or anything like that out of here.
Nice. Now, when you do your carp fishing, are you fishing that area, or you have somewhere totally different? How far away is that area?
Yeah, I got a little river right by my house, and I'll go there. If that ain't working, I try to go to some marinas. Marinas seem to hold carp pretty good, and about an hour drive, I'd say.
Because I've seen a lot of the pictures this year, man, of y'all catching some nice ones, man, and it looks like y'all been killing them pretty good.
Oh yeah, we were tearing them up for a while. Getting lucky, I guess. You know, it's my first year carp fishing, really. And luckily, I got in with some bow fishermen. They hooked me up.
Nice. And I saw some of the pictures. I believe you and Chris done some fishing together, and y'all were fishing when y'all caught those. I believe Chris, you and Jesse.
Yeah, I was with Jesse a couple times. I think we went down to the East Fork of the Trinity. I went with Jesse down to the East Fork. I caught a big one. We hung into about 4 other ones, but those things are not easy to get in.
No.
They're not easy to hook.
Yep.
For sure not. Some days you get lucky, you know, you hook every single one, and then some days you miss every single one.
Yeah, you know, I went with Charlie a couple times, and one time we lost every one of them. I mean, it's probably a dozen, you know. We had a dozen decent runs and lost them all. And then last trip I had a huge run, and I thought for sure I was going to have it, you know, and I let him run with it for a while, but nothing.
Well, Chris, I know I was going to ask y'all. Y'all have a lot of trouble with commercial fishermen in your area. I know.
No, they outlawed them.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So that's one thing that Texas was cool about with the conservation thing is, you know, after our lakes kind of got cleaned out in the late 90s and early 2000s, they started coming up with an idea. They wanted to try to bring some of these lakes back to start growing these bigger fish again. And so they eliminated the commercial fishermen, and they started tighter regulations, and it's taken 25 years for it to see much movement on it. But I've noticed now that instead of everybody keeping them all, there's certain lakes like mine where, you know, we've got guys that are constantly preaching CPR, and they're making a comeback. Now, our best lakes are out in the country, which there's a lot more guys out there that don't care about conservation. They're going to keep them. They trot line, they jug, and they haul everything out that they can. They don't care about the regulations. You'll see them posted on some of these local lake pages, and they'll have 5 fish over 40, which you're only allowed 1 over 30 inches or something now, and they got they're all up to their waist.
Wow.
You know, and they got a whole stringer of them.
I know. I was looking down. I know Derek. Yeah, you know, I'm in South Carolina and Derek's in North Carolina, and they, you know, commercial fishermen there and also here, you know, puts a hurting on our areas. You know, our rivers and stuff. You know, it's crazy, and I wish they would do that around here also.
Yeah, I'd say our issue for most of our fisheries are juggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the juggers, they don't. I see more harm to the fish. I see more injuries to the big fish that I'm catching from juggers. The ripped, jaws. The half the jug still hanging out of the fish's mouth with a rotten hole. Type stuff, and it's frequent. It is
Yeah.
frequent. Y'all see me on my live streams. I'm like, this one's got a jug string hanging out of it. Look at this one's got a ripped jaw. Well, now I don't have proof, but I got a pretty good feeling because over the last 30 years, I pulled enough big fish off of jugs that were hung up shallow to know most of the time they run and leave the area and go try to find something to break off on, and that is often tree limbs. And every cove is littered. It's not just because the jug got blown away and lost. That's not how they get lost. They get lost because the guy leaves them and doesn't keep an eye on his equipment, and anything over 10 pounds is gone by the time he gets back there. So
Yeah.
But that's why I think that's why we had Jesse on tonight. He fishes a lake that's got a consumption ban. And I don't know when they put the ban on, but it's been since I was a kid. They've had this consumption ban on, and so most guys turn them loose, and the lake is just chock full of good fish.
Yeah, it is.
There's not a whole lot of eaters, right, Jesse?
No, there's not that many eaters. You wouldn't want to come out here for, a guided trip or something for numbers.
Right. But there's a lot of what I call mid-size big blues. They're not eaters. They're 20 to 40 pound fish.
Yeah, it's pretty common here. But if they're not, some days they're just lockjaw out here.
Yeah. So it's a shallow lake. What's the deepest part of your fishery?
24 foot. And that's
fish on. That middle rod's getting bit.
That pole was
I have one over here
one.
going down too. I got some pretty big hooks on there, so I'm using all big chunks of carp tonight. Trying to stay away from them dinks. And typically I drag or pull boards, but
yeah,
I figured I'd anchor down so I'm not messing with stuff all night. Be involved, but yeah, if you drag on this lake, you're bound to wind up catching something good.
Yeah. I fished Rogers tournament, went and fished that lake, and I hung a good one right at the bell, and we got it almost to the boat, and it come off. It looked to be about 40 pounds, and that was in the middle of summer. Which
yeah,
I'm like, it was September 30th or something like that. I'm like, damn, which last September, not this September. Or maybe no, it was early September. It was September 5th or something like that. So it was 100 degrees. I was surprised, I didn't expect to hook into one like that.
Well, I tell you what, man, it looks like Jesse looks like it's nice out there. A lot of looks like glass water, man, and just a nice sunset coming up.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Right here on this air base, there's a lot of airplanes, so it gets loud every now and then.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see him fly over, though.
Yeah.
My son loved it. Tim says, nice setup, Jesse. And thanks, Jeff says, what lake you fishing? And yes, he's fishing Lake Worth.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm on old Mother Worth.
I got a buddy that fishes your lake is Mike McClung, and he freaking hammers them, man.
Yeah, I've met Mike. He's a good dude. He's always anchor fishing, right?
He's anchor fishing 95% of the time.
Yeah.
And he does well. He just
Oh yeah, I think last year I seen one of his videos. He had 8 on at the same time. They were all big.
Wow. Yeah, he's an old schooler. He's one of my old school catfishing buddies. He's been around a long time, man. Really
Got
good dude.
Got some decent fish swimming around right now on the sonar.
Yep, it's the magic hour, buddy. We might
Yeah,
get to see something.
I have to put a jacket on here directly.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like it's getting to that time, man, where anytime something can just slam down.
So Moose Knuckle Outdoors says did his very first tournament Saturday and ended up 15 out of 36 using Mad Catch rods, spread 'em boards, and Minotaur hooks.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty good. Anytime you can finish middle of the road on your first run out, it's pretty good.
Heck yeah. I mean, that's a good turnout too, man. 36 boats. That's heck yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple people. I was doing them gar tournaments, so they've been asking me to do some catfishing tournaments out here on the lake. But
yep. I'm supposed to put one on, but I got busy, so I'm gonna have to do it in December.
Same here. I have to tell these guys, man, maybe a little help. I'd probably do it.
Well, we can all team up. We're going to run it through the Carolina Lakeways page, so we run it. I mean, we can run. If way I figured, it's just going to be an online type deal with bump boards. I want to do bump boards so we don't have to tape measure cheaters, which I hear a lot from my other. I asked a bunch of different guys that put this crap on. They're like, do the bump board. If somebody got a problem with it, they don't. It's for fun, and it kind of helps eliminate some of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because even you start getting a bunch of guys in at $50 a piece. It's pretty decent sized pot. It's going to get competitive.
Yeah, I bet. And if you're doing it online, it's gonna be some real competitors.
Oh yeah. And what's so good about it, man, is you get to see all kinds of different fish caught in all kinds of different areas. And see what everybody's doing.
I think that's cool. And guys are like, man, it's not fair. Why don't you have a kayak division and a bank division? I'm like, it's a fun division, and it's just fish for fun. Is it fair that Jesse's got to fish Lake Worth against a guy who's fishing the Tennessee River? I mean, or a guy who's fishing, I don't know, one of these Lake Wheeler. I mean, it's not, So Nicky Jack Dam, is it fair that a guy gets to bump there while I got to go fish Lake Louisville?
That's what it's all about, is having a good time and fellowship. That's for sure.
It's for fun. Yeah. I figured we could try to do something, and I don't know how many people want to do it, but it'll be for fun. And then we could have some of it live streamed for the final tournament with the top 6 or 8 dudes, battling it out for the on YouTube and Facebook Live.
Yeah, I said, man, that sounds like a lot of fun, man. I say let's get this thing rolling.
All right. Well, I talking last night with my wife, so probably gonna do it now that November's here. We need to go ahead and schedule one for December. That way, it gives everybody enough time to get their bump boards and plan that they can fish that weekend.
Yeah, matter of fact, I believe I'll order mine probably tomorrow. Go ahead and get mine coming.
You can get them from Kevin Parks. I think he makes the aluminum one for $40, and I think he's got one that's stainless. That's a lot more. That comes with the paperwork and all that. I'm not going to require guys to have the paperwork. If you're going to go through enough trouble to make a bump board, have somebody make a bump board that's actually smaller than it reads.
Yeah, some people, man, you'd be surprised. That gar tournament I held, one dude, he had a broken tape measure, and
I saw that. We're like, look at this tape. This, like, my goodness. And I've heard that constantly with these tournaments. It's guys when like to do the girth for the tiebreaker. Somebody's got it too loose. Other guys are, you don't have it tight enough, and everybody's mad. So I don't want to have to deal with that. I want it to be fun.
Yeah, simple's the way to go.
That's
Simple.
it.
Yeah. And
Don't throw a lot of rules in it. Just have a good time. And, like I
I'm
said,
thinking about making it where $10 goes to Operation Vets with Nets, though.
Oh, heck yeah.
I mean, it won't raise a whole bunch, but it'll be at least worth, it will have a little cause. It's going to be a low entry, like $50, I figured,
That's it. And Chris, it's getting close to Christmas and stuff. Maybe we can figure something out, with that, find a good.
I've had some guys say they want to sponsor some stuff. Got guys that want to give rides and I can't even remember now. It's been 6 weeks since I was going to start planning that thing, but we'll get something figured out. It should be a good time.
Let's see.
I'm throw on my jacket real quick. It's getting chilly.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I tell you, I was enjoying Jesse's setup, man. Watching the back right there, just watching them rods.
Yeah.
Tan Man said that's what he did with this last one. He was able to send about $600 to Operation Vets with Nets.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how popular the tournament will be. I mean, when I first announced it, I had so many guys more guys come to me saying that's not fair, or you should have a boat division, you should have a bank division, you should have a kayak division, you should have a different one for each state. I'm like, what, guys? I mean, really? That sounds like 10 tournaments to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, just do it for fun. Let's all just do it that way.
So if we do if we do each one, we'll do like a 3 fish, 3 fish length.
Yep. They're gonna be a whole weekend or just a day thing?
I figure it's gonna be the weekend because some guys can't fish Sunday, some guys can't fish Saturday, and for us weekend fishermen, it's huge to be able to pick between 2 days. It's not like getting to pick between a whole week which day you fish, but I can have a lot better success if I've got a few different days to choose from when I could fish. So, you got fronts and stuff moving in all, that time of year. So,
yeah,
one guy's got to fish a front, and Jamie's, it's 3 days before it hits him. He's fishing pre-front. I would like to at least be able to fish the day after the front hits.
Yeah.
That's why I think 2 days will be better. And some guys will go fish both days, and that's fine too.
351 Cleveland, welcome, brother. But yeah, Chris, you're right, man. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Some guys go fish for 12 hours straight.
Yeah.
That's not me. Maybe if I was, when I did it at night, it's more of a marathon event.
Yeah.
But when I go fishing for fun, which is every weekend for the last 30 years, I don't want to fish for 12. If I got to fish for 12 hours, I'm doing a lot of stuff wrong. I want to fish for, ideally about 6 hours and maybe 8. It's rare I ever go over 8 hours. At 8 hours, I've got even on the terrible day, at 8 hours, I've got enough where I'm satisfied and I can go home and feel victorious. You go for long periods of time, it starts taking the fun out of it for me.
Yeah, it does. Especially if you ain't catching nothing.
Luckily, I'm pretty good at catching them. And if you give me 8 hours, even on the worst day, I can figure something out in that 8 hours enough to say, okay, I can go. It's okay for me to leave the lake now.
Yeah, Rebecca tells me all the time. She's like, you said it 2 hours ago, 1 more hour. And I keep pushing it.
That's the day you're not doing great, you know.
And I'm just like, man, I can't go home until I catch a certain amount of fish. But she says, you know, that's 2-3 hours later after I tell her, okay, one more hour.
Yeah. See, for me, and you know, unless I'm just really like the 800-pound day, I stayed for 8 hours. The 900-pound day, I stayed for 8 hours. I just didn't want to leave. But you catching that many big fish after 8 hours, you can't even lift your arms. Your back's seized up. It's time to leave. There's no blood. There's no skin left on my knuckles. And on a slow day, if I can get 10 fish and 1 or 2 of them's good, that to me, that's a victory. And I can go home feeling good about that. You know, you give me 10, 12 hours, I should have probably, I mean, you should be able to do something in that time frame.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm hoping to snag something here tonight, but you know, all my bait's giant pieces.
Brandon says, Jesse Campbell, where the pigs at?
Where the pigs at? They're in there. They're swimming around. No, I'm on a ledge right now, and you know, I didn't really get to scan or anything before I got here. So,
yeah, we're gonna have a show pretty soon, Jesse. Coming up, it's gonna be about. Well, let me see. What did I call that one? I just made a banner for it. I didn't even tell Jamie. Efficiency and effectiveness, increasing your success. So, and that, you know, a lot of that's going to go into, Jamie got knocked off. A lot of that stuff we talk about, time saving and being an efficient fisherman and being an effective fisherman. A lot of times when you have a bad day, you can have a bad day because of the fishing, because of your equipment, or because of you. And for most of the time, it's something you did because somebody else figured out something else and did well. So figuring out how to be efficient and effective almost 100% of the time is what every angler is trying to do. No one likes to get their tail handed to them. And
yeah, sure.
We all have bad days. I'm sure you have some bad days here and there.
Oh yeah, yeah. This month's been rather strange. I caught that real big one, and then it's just kind of been a slow spell after that. Caught a couple 20s, but nothing big.
It's almost go time, man. The big fish will be biting pretty good after this front.
Yeah.
What's your water temp?
I'm reading 60 and 10 water.
Damn. So close.
Yeah.
Water hits 50. You'll start seeing the big baits grouping up. You'll start seeing the predatorial fish grouping up, getting around all that bait. And it's just, they're easier to find.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. 50 degrees. I'll be dragging all over this lake.
You're there. It's just you need a little wind, it looks like to me. And I would say, I haven't looked at tomorrow's forecast, but I would bet tomorrow it'd be crazy good fishing. Looks like Jamie's back.
Yeah, I might be out here tomorrow. I got a small job and go do a soil job, and then I'll be off early tomorrow.
You got connection issues too, Jamie?
Yeah, I've got the Wi-Fi is full. I don't really know what's going on tonight.
I don't either. My laptop, the Wi-Fi doesn't work on it. I had to go with the iPad, which has its own service.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just on my phone tonight. I was going to bring my iPad out, but I was like, I got a phone holder on the boat. Might as well use it.
Chasing Fish said, this is Mark Vidal. Jesse, don't take me to the honey hole when I'm with him on that lake.
That's funny.
I fished that lake and I didn't have it. the intel the guy gave me was I was not able to fish it. It was a no graph tournament, and you weren't allowed to have ever fished the lake before. So I came to this lake because I know it's a good lake. It was September 3rd or something of last year, and my buddy, I call him the king of Lake Worth. He catches a ton of good fish out of that lake, and he gave me some spots to anchor. And we had our two boys. It was me and my friend, and we had our two boys. We call them the Twin Tornadoes, and we took them on your lake, Jesse, and we thought we were going to anchor. And as we're pulling up to get shallow, I'm realizing we got these two freaking tornadoes on the boat. It's like two clonkers, just clonk, clonk, clonk. I'm like, we ain't gonna be able to anchor, so I just decided to drag. We ended up. It's got a ton of, I couldn't use my graph. I could use my Navionics. So I saw there's a bunch of fishy stuff. It looked like there's a lot of snags for my rods just been over all day. So
yeah, you gotta stay away from the humps out here. I don't know what's on them. Trees probably, and there we go.
Get you some, boy.
Maybe a dink. Maybe a dinker.
Yeah, I tell you what, Chris, man, this service is something tonight, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Looks like Jesse's got good service.
Yeah, it looks like Billy said he's having trouble. Several people's having trouble tonight.
Milton says we are so sorry close. I think he meant so very close. Our trophy season, people, is about to kick off. So we start filling the boat. It's about to be on. Yeah, so Vess says trees and a lot of fence lines. And so Mike, he had told me one of these sections to anchor on. He's like, you go out here and anchor. He's like, but he's like, I'd be careful dragging this little area right here because I've pulled up sections of barbed wire with my anchor. I'm like, well, I got these kids. I'm realizing I ain't gonna be able to anchor it. So we drug it, and we definitely hit that freaking barbed wire fence. We had every rod just slammed over all at the same time, just 10 rods buried. And they all came over it. So
call them cattle pins.
First time I've ever come over a fence and not lost half my crap, I'll tell you that. You can tell when it's a fence because every rod's buried all at the same time. There's nothing that's, my spread's over 100 feet. Yeah. It's probably 150 feet on a good day, or maybe more. Hell, I don't even know. Probably 150 feet.
Yeah, same here.
If all that's hung at the same time, you're probably on a fence.
Yeah, and it's really on these humps. There's a really big hump. That one spot you're talking about, and you're right. Every rod will dump over.
So those humps, they all used to have a house sitting on top of them before they made these lakes. There was a house with about a 3-acre fence around it.
Right.
So that's the standard setup that farmhouses had back then. You had, 50 acres around you, but then your house was 3 acres pinned. And a lot of those fences and houses, they left standing when they flood these lakes. So some of them they clear, but a lot of them they left. So when you get on those humps, they're snaggy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we call it the cattle pen, this certain hump. We think it's an old cattle farm or something.
Beth says, tell Jesse thanks for warming them up for me.
Yeah, I saw Bess out here maybe about 2 weeks ago. He got a pretty nice boat. He come driving past.
He fishes Eagle Mountain a lot, or he fishes Worth too?
Yeah, he fishes Worth. I met him at Eagle Mountain, and then I'll see him here and there out here on Lake Worth.
He's always on fish. There's a damn mosquito in here.
I kept wondering. I was like, Chris is after something.
Buzzing slow because it's cold. It's got cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cold out here tonight.
Yeah, so I'll go fish up at Lake Ray Roberts sometimes, and they left everything on that lake. They didn't clear anything. So you still see barns standing, timber barns still standing. They'll have like a hole in the roof. You're like, man, there's some good ones in that hole. But
sure.
Getting your bait in that thing, it's hard. I lost a ton of crap, but my buddy's like, man, there ain't no big fish on this lake. I'm like, let me come fish that thing. I bet I can pull some out of there. To me, it looks like it's probably it's a sleeper lake. I bet there's some giants in there. So, man, I don't ever get anything but around 20 pounds. And so I went over there and I caught a 53 and 240s. First time I ever hit that lake, man. I'm like, you're fishing the wrong section.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to get up over here by this river channel. It's like, I can't believe you caught them out of there. I was like, I bet you I could get that lake record if I fished that lake for a month in the winter. But maybe me and Jackson will have to go get that one too.
I know, I'm scared for y'all to come out on Lake Worth.
Well, that time of year when that lake turns on, I generally start going to Lavon because it's just so fun to fish. There's really there. I don't know that there's another Bluecat lake quite like it in Texas. It doesn't have the supersized fish, but it's got so many 40 to 50 pounders in it. It's insane, man. I mean, there's that mosquito. I'd rate it close to what Tawakoni used to be, but Tawakoni had a little bit bigger size fish in it. That lake's been decimated too.
Yeah, too many guides. I had it mapped out. I wanted to go fish a certain point. I get there, it's about 2 guides pulling boards across it. Oh man.
Yeah, I usually do pretty good on that lake. I see the guides fishing. I'm like, I'm not even gonna. Why even fish next to them? I'm fish the way I fish.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always do. I'll see the guides at the dock, and they're like, "What'd you get?" Or I'll be like, "What'd you get?" And he's like, "Oh, we got a 40 and a 30 and a 28. And what'd you get?" He's got all these customers, like, well, we got 250s, and 440s, and 330s. But I like to go kind of a little different than a lot of guys. I just like to fish a little different. Those guys on that lake, they anchor or they drift, and I don't drift. I drag, and they don't drag. I'm like, man, you guys, I can't believe none of you guys out here dragging. Seems like that would catch on, but I don't think they've had to drag on that lake. There's just, up until recently, it's been chock full of giants.
Yeah, it's a big lake, but you got to watch out for all that timber.
So, Jeff, what lake do you fish, buddy? Jeff Gordon, get Chris to come show me where the monsters are on your lake. Come on in, buddy. Huh? You take a nap? You want to say hello?
Yeah, my pen.
Can't. I'm using it. The computer doesn't work.
Hi.
What's up, Jackson?
Did you get some candy last night?
Yeah.
Jackson's been taking a nap. He stayed up late trick-or-treating, eating candy last night.
Sugar crash.
What did you say, buddy?
Did you get a good nap in? All right, buddy. You can use my phone. Just go on out of here.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, buddy.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can barely hear y'all. I guess I'm gonna try to step out or something again.
So Jeff, Lake Cooper, that's an anchor lake for the most part. Now I do have a friend he's like, man, can you help me with the lake? And I'm like, well, I never fished it, but I can look on a topo and tell you where I think they'll be. So I've been helping him, and he's been doing pretty good. But I know several guides that fish that lake, and it's enormous. It has an enormous shallow end, and I think when lakes are like that, they're just more of an anchor type lake.
Jeff Gordon, he said, which lake? Cooper?
Cooper. That's East Texas Lake. Chasing Fish says Lake Levon hasn't let us down. Yep, it's a fun lake to fish. When it's on, boy, it's on. My favorite lake to fish is probably Lake Texoma. The opportunity to catch something giant is just, there's not another lake in Texas like it. So it is our hardest lake to fish because of the size and depth, but man, when it's on, it's crazy good.
I was about to say, once you get that one figured out, it seems like it would be a heck of a lake.
Yeah, yep. Getting it figured out, it took me at least 10 years before I had a decent feel for it. It just fishes so different. It's super deep. Nice. Facebook user says, hello from Lake Livingston, Texas.
Lake Livingston. That's down south, ain't it?
Yeah, they had a Cat Masters there this year, which I was surprised they did it down there, but
dang.
Yeah, they actually caught big fish.
Dang. Yeah, there's a bunch of lots of gar in Livingston, I think.
Yeah. It's a sleep. I guess I know the guys that want it anchored. So, Jesse,
wow,
get you a fish on, man.
I know. I'm starting to see them show up on the graph, but I've had a few little.
Loose Knuckle out there says his lake, the deepest part's 110.
Yeah, see, you'd have to go to one of our canyon lakes for that. And those are not our best lakes because they're clear water lakes, and it's just, I think Bluecats have a harder time in clear water. It's harder for them to feed. Plus, those lakes, they get golden algae blooms, so they have big fish kills here in Texas. Our deep canyon lakes get big time fish kills.
Had a bite. I might have to put on a little piece of bait just so I can catch a dink.
Do it.
That piece you had on a while ago, I said, man, if you hook into one, that's going to be a big fish.
Yeah. That's kind of my method been all year, is just load up on big bait. Screw it.
Yeah.
Go big or go home, baby.
That's probably what I'm going to do Saturday myself.
That's what I did last week. We didn't catch many, but the ones we got were good. And it was terrible conditions. So I was just trying to eliminate those dinks, because the week before we caught like 30 dinks and 10 good ones. But
there we go.
Get you some, boy.
Looks like he might have a fish on. Jesse can move, man.
He moved quick as I do.
Yeah. That looks like...
My buddies that come on the boat, they're like, damn, can't even get to one of these rods. I'm like, well, you can reel it in. I got an automatic trigger on these fish. I'm not one of those guys that lackadaisically moves to the rod. I'm getting on it, man.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, man, that sucker was folded over. I got rod holders in the back of the boat. And he came off, though. Stole my bait.
Uh-oh.
It's the only bad thing about
what size pontoon?
Carp. If you don't have a thick rig, it kind of You know, they can bite the bottom.
Looks like you fished off of a pontoon, Jesse?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got me a little pontoon, a little sun tracker.
Yeah, you took that thing to the river this year, didn't you?
Yeah, they was looking at me all sideways.
I bet you got nervous a few times.
Yeah, I mean, luckily the water was up, but there's some stumps out there. I was just going slow.
Yeah.
Nah. But I got to go out and it was nice.
We had actually had a pontoon before I got this Procat, and we used to have bunk beds set up on it when we anchor fished at night on the river. Oh man, it was nice, brother.
Man, I'd be spending the night on the river a lot.
We did almost every weekend. We were on the river spending the night, so we were able to cook. We had grill, all kinds of stuff. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me and my son do that, and it's like he cronks out about 10:30, and I can't sit up by myself, and I end up falling asleep. I wake up, every ride's got a fish on it, you know. So tangled, but
yeah, that's about like us. The tide about every 6 hours wants to turn around and start coming in or going out, and then you sitting over there, you're last one up, and next thing you know, it's morning time, and you got rods all, like you said, twisted up.
Can't hardly see Jesse. He's lighting.
Oh,
there he goes.
You have to fire up another light.
Yeah. Y'all see me now?
There you go, brother.
Biggest problem we had were the pleasure boaters. They put the front of my boat underwater.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta love them.
I saw Jeremy's Tournament Cats. He commented on one of my shorts from last fall where we were fishing like 5-6 foot rollers. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll take my 16 foot whatever full speed across that. I'm like, yeah, you'll be at the bottom of the lake.
Hey, I tell you what, man, I've seen Jeremy. Matter of fact, when was it? The last tournament we had, brother. He was hitting some rough water, and that's the one I almost sunk my boat in. And he's not scared of rough water.
Yeah, 6 footers. I bet he'd be freaking scared.
Yeah, I was on Levon when that cold front hit last year. Man,
I got a 23 foot heavy bay boat with high sides. I was taking water over the front. A 16 foot boat would be taking just rollers over the front. That thing would be at the bottom of the lake. Guaranteed.
here, I'm going to rebait this rod.
Yeah, I believe this weekend, hopefully the wind's going to lay down for us a little bit. Looks
like
we might have quite a bit of wind still this weekend, but I'm hoping it's going to lay down a little bit.
I'm hoping for some wind on Saturday morning.
Man.
I had a little something in my mind told me today, go travel fish. So I may go hit another lake, see what I can get into.
There you go. Where are you thinking about?
I may go up to Texoma. I don't know. I gotta see. What's that?
They've been on some good ones.
Yeah, so next week we got Daniel Armstrong. He's going to come on the show. He's probably, I'd say he's one of our probably top 5 anglers here in Texas. He's won some he won the Cat Masters. He placed second in the Cat Masters, and I think he got third in the Cat Masters. And there was 250 boats, and every top angler in the country was there. So he's a great fisherman. He's a pretty young guy to be so damn good, but he's been good to me. I've known him for a while. He gives me intel when I need to go up there. So probably hit him up, see where he's been getting them.
Yeah, they've been catching some good ones.
I haven't seen a whole lot of really giants coming out of there yet, but It's about time.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing some 30s and some couple 50s on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
I think from Daniel. His
Yeah,
circle.
Daniel, he's generally getting at least a 40 or 50 every trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesse's got the glow show going on.
Yeah, dude. Yes,
Man,
sir.
them things look good back there.
Yeah,
so,
what
they
rods
were
you
saying,
got there?
Yeah, my buddy Mark, he let me use his black light tonight.
Oh, nice.
I got me a couple ordered.
Yep, you got to have some
Them-
black lights to fish at night. Well, you mean you don't have to, but it sure is nice. After
Yeah.
I've started using black lights, I'm like, I can't look at another white light while I'm fishing. It drives me insane now. So
Yeah.
that's it.
I see a lot of guys, they're like, oh, I just put up a big white one way up high overhead so I can see everything.
Yeah, I'm a black light guy.
I've tried it all. That
back.
black light with the colored light in the in the cabin, that's the way to go. It's much less. It's calming, that white bright light. It's nerve wracking, and a lot of bugs like it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Chris, it looks like Jeff is asking you, what's your PB?
My PB is 86 pounds out of Lake Texoma.
Jesse, what's your PB, brother?
50 pounds.
Nice.
The one I caught at the beginning of the month, he was a tank, man. I wish I could have weighed him. I'd say he's probably high 50.
He looked in the 50s.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can't ever tell till you get him on the scale. He's a big-headed male.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see the length of him. So, the one thing, it's the length. You can have a fish that outweighs one that's much longer, then it's hard to determine once they get really big, the weight of them. I can generally pick the weight of a fish that's 50 pounds or less within a few pounds. But once they get over 50, I'm way off a lot. I can't. They grow at different. The girth of them is bigger, and some of them are shorter.
They'll throw you off, that's for sure, man.
I think that 80 that Jackson caught was like 51.5 inches. And then the 72 that he caught was like 53 inches or something, So, if you do the math on, it's like, damn, that the 70 should have been a lot bigger, like 20 pounds bigger than that 80, but it wasn't. That 80 is just a big fat beast, and I've caught some that were 40. That was 40. It was 46 inches and it was 58 pounds or something. So that's like normally it'd be a 40-pound fish.
Yeah.
And it was, almost 60. So.
But yeah, it turned out I was supposed to get my Mad Cat scale, but it showed up late. UPS.
I got it. I'm hoping that it shows up good on that dang camera when you're weighing those things for money.
Yeah, I like it. I got it now. I think it's got a green.
Yeah, it's green. It's bright.
Yeah. Should show up pretty good. I don't know about in the daytime, but at
Richard,
night.
I used to use that old school Coleman lantern. It'd be so covered in bugs. It'd be like this thick on that lantern. Just
hey, when I saw that comment, Chris, that brought back so many memories, of that pontoon boat and back in the day using those lanterns. You sit there with the gas and the wick and stuff. I kind of miss them days a little bit.
That's the good old days for sure.
That was the good old days, brother.
That was right when I first started using cut bait. Before that, guys used like chicken liver. For real.
It was.
That's it. You smell that burn of that Coleman lantern all night, man.
You can tell our age,
Oh,
guys.
man.
Yeah. But some of these younger guys, they probably had dads that are our age at this point. They might even be familiar with a Coleman lantern because some dads don't get rid of anything.
I still got probably 8 of them.
They probably work better than the new one you'd buy at the store, which would be broken in a week.
Yeah, you can't destroy them things.
Yeah, the wick that you put on there is cancerous. I remember the sticker on that. That's for sure. Do not touch. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to put this damn thing on here? And then you're over there eating. We lived.
That's it. There ain't nothing wrong with us. Well, not all wrong with us, but
Billy, you can get them certified. You pretty much get any scale certified. So when you take it to get it certified, they're going to run it through a couple of tests and see how accurate it is. And if it's within whatever the guideline is, they will certify the scale. And you got to get it redone each year. And it ain't cheap. It's pain in the ass too. I always get mine certified, but I wish I knew a guy because it's not cheap where I take it nickel scale.
Yeah, it's hard to find a certified scale when you catch a record,
Yeah, you got to have it. You got to have it yourself, or you're a good chance you kill a fish. So that has a lot to do with the fish care. If you plan on being a record, guy that's going to go get records, you really, unless it's just going to be a luck thing, or if you're going to go chase them, you need to have a certified scale. And I mean, I got mine certified because we were catching fish that not frequently, but every year we get one that's really close to the lake record. And I knew that if my son started getting them, we might as well get some certified. So I started getting my scales certified.
That's awesome. Yeah, how many records y'all get last year? Quite a bit.
We got like 14.
14
records. Me and this computer is about to fight.
You know what? No, Jesse, if you make it a point to go chase them, there's a lot of them that you can get that are attainable. You just have to. You got to be ready for them, and there's different records for every lake. There's catch and release. There's like my son's got all the junior lake records for every lake. And then you got the all tackle record, which is all ages, and he's got a couple of those as well. And you got a flathead record, you got a blue cat record, you got a channel cat record.
Yeah, my son got the white bass record on Eagle Mountain Lake.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
My son got the hybrid record last year. We caught it dragging in the spring.
Dang.
And we didn't certify it. I just turned it loose, but it was like, I don't know, 12.2 pounds or something. It broke the record by over a pound.
Heck yeah. Yeah, them hybrids are a fun fight too, though.
They are. So Jeff wants to talk about.
Chris, I don't know. Yep, that's why I was getting ready to see if you had saw that.
Jeff wants to know about properly weighing a big fish without harming it, please. So you'll hear a lot of people arguing in the catfishing world about proper way to handle a fish. Now, there has been no science on any of it. And guys say, oh, if you pick it up with fish grippers, you're injuring the fish. And that's a fairly new thing that I've heard. That's the way we did it for close to 30 years. And I've never hurt a fish. And guys are like, well, you break their jaw. Or that had never happened with me. But I got it to a point where I got tired of hearing it. About guys telling me I was doing it wrong, even though I've released thousands of big fish unharmed doing it that way. So I just started doing it different. And first I went with just weighing it in my net. And I noticed that when you weigh it in your net, it was hurting the fish a lot worse than using that fish gripper. They would come back with just imprints and every speck of slime scraped off of it from weighing it in that net. And it would just be like bloody, look like grill marks from where that net was just by holding that fish up. So I thought, oh, I might need to get one of these fish slings. So I got a fish sling finally last year. Yeah, started weighing them with the sling. I do notice it's still really bad on the slime. So the fish all go back healthy, but what happens after you remove the slime coat? I don't know. From my understanding, that's probably more detrimental to them than picking them up by the jaw. That's all speculation. But I do know when I weigh them in the net or the sling, they sure are banged up by the time I'm done using them when it's supposed to be so good for them. But I don't know what the solution is on that, guys. Somebody needs to study it. Right now, it's just he says, she said. Oh, you got to do this because it hurts their jaw. I don't know anybody who's hurt a fish's jaw. You might hear a guy say, "Oh, I did." I don't really know that he did. I've done it a long time and never hurt him, but started going with the net and the sling, and it does seem to mess them up pretty good. So I don't like that. I'm still looking for a solution. It may be coming up with a different sling that's fabric or something like that. I don't know. I got my sling from RS Nets. It was freaking high dollar. So you would think with that high dollar, it would not harm them. But when you got a giant fish and you're putting them on all those, the mesh of a net, that skin is soft, and it just seems like it really bruises them bad. It makes them, before I put them in the sling, they're beautiful. And there's not a scratch on them. And by the time I weigh it, and it only takes me a minute to weigh it, after a minute, that thing has red streaks on it.
Like a checkerboard.
It comes out looking terrible, man. Way worse than before I put it in that sling.
Chris, I had a bag, almost like a sling, where you take and you got your, weigh it right here. It's got a bag.
Like the bass guys.
Yeah, and I had made, and it's been working fairly good, but like I said, you still see some of that slime and stuff, but it's got a backing on it where the fish can't slide out either way.
Yeah,
that we had made for the boat. And I wish I had it with me, but it's in the boat, and I don't have it with me. But it seems to work pretty decent.
Yeah. So Paula says slings are the best way. I've researched about the slime, but I can't write it all at one time. I'll send it to you, Chris. Please do, because I looked for all that. There's no research that's been done. And when I saw a big argument between two big-time guys, they're like saying, oh, I got this information. Well, they never showed the information that says this way or another. Now, I have seen a lot of the saltwater guys say, yeah, when you put it in that sling and you remove the sling, the fish is going to get major infections. And a lot of those fish that you use in that sling get infected and end up dying. So, that's just, again, speculation. I do know.
Now, Chris, let me ask you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's me, but after we get done weighing the fish, I automatically take mine and wash it. So
Yeah.
when I get done with one fish, I don't wrap mine back up. I'll wash it out, clean it up, then I store it back away for the next fish.
Yeah.
Y'all do a lot of that?
We do that, and I try to wet mine before I put a fresh fish in there.
Yeah.
So that it's softer. But I just I'm using these slings, and before it goes into the sling, the fish looks pristine. Guys are like, "What happened to that fish?" I'm like, "I just waited for about 30 seconds." Scraped thread, one tail flop like that while he's in there, and he's scraped up. So
yeah, some of our tournaments you've actually got to have a sling, and stuff like that in some of these tournaments.
Yeah.
They won't.
I've got
They won't allow you to have no
like
fish.
Paula said, she's researched it. I did a lot of research myself, and there's nothing proving that slings are less harmful than hanging them up by a fish grip. So I'm not saying either way's better. I'm saying either way's not good. I mean, ideally, I think the weighing process is the part that injures the fish the most out of any part where you're trying to deal with the fish. From the time you pull it out to try to weigh it, that's when all the injuries generally occur.
Yeah.
So that's why most fish, I don't really weigh them unless it's a pretty good one, and then I got to know. I want to know. And we do a lot of live streams, and the guys want to know what the weight.
Yeah, Miss Paul said that come from the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency with that information, Chris.
Okay, I'd like to see the study or the survey.
What's up, JTC? Welcome, brother.
Yeah, I should have brought my boards and did some pulling. And I ain't too much into this anchor fishing unless certain time of the year, spring and stuff.
Yep, I like to drag. That's for sure.
Yeah, me too.
That like you got my buddy's like, I don't know if you want to drag. I'm like, I'm looking at it on the topo. I'm dragging this thing. It looks great.
Oh yeah. It's a good thing about this lake. It's so small. You can drag it almost the whole lake if you got, within 6 hours. Drag the whole damn lake. You'll find them.
So JTC says the weight sling is the way to go. So what are you going off of, JTC? What made you say no to the fish gripper? Because every other guy I know, it's because somebody else told him it's bad for him. And even though I've never known a guy that's hurt one that way, out of all the guides that used them that way, I mean, shit, I know 20 different guides that use them, and none of them use a weight sling.
Yeah, I use my grippers or sometimes my net. But I've noticed,
if I get one over 40, I'm weighing it in the sling because I don't like hearing it from people.
Yeah, I need to get me a sling. That's for sure.
We're winning all those Mad Cat deals, and guys are just in an outright, get all this hatred about weighing a big fish. It's like, okay, I probably catch more big fish in a year than you've caught your whole life, and I've never hurt one.
Yeah, that's the main thing is, did it swim away healthy,
Yeah, and it's clamping down on my fingers pretty good, so the jaw seems to be working just fine.
Yeah. I mean, them big fish got a pretty thick jaw. That tooth patch is serious, man. It'd be hard to kind of break that.
Now, I've never caught one that's 100 pounds, so I wouldn't hang 100-pounder by that, but
no. Maybe one day I'm gonna go to Texoma a bunch this winter.
Well, it's go time up there. That lake always starts before ours.
Oh, okay.
And it fishes deep. So if you want to go up there, let's go up there. I'll show you around. I know the lake pretty good, and I got good intel on it.
Heck yeah, I'm down, man.
I can get good intel, at least. I got a couple of good guide buddies that fish it every day. So
you got the connections.
That's one of the things we're going to talk about: fishing efficiency and trying to up your game. And part of that is going to be building your relationships with guys that are on other fisheries that you plan on fishing. So
yeah, pays off to be a nice guy, you know.
Got a lot of guys like, I don't just want to figure it out for myself. I'm like, man, I've been doing this a long time. I've got a huge network. I'm calling my buddies that fish that lake before I go. That's called smart fishing right there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you don't really know unless you're there all the time, you know. It's kind of like this lake. I haven't been out in a little bit. You know, if I'd have been out here last weekend and stuff like that, I'd have a better idea where they're at right now.
Yeah, the more you go, the more you know. Guides, you can hound dog them because you were there the day before. Yeah. Paula says grippers are just fine unless you have a 50-pounder or larger. Yep, I agree. I'd agree with that. Derek says you can poke a hook through them and be fine, but grab them with lip grips. No. And that's true. People are going to find a reason to knock you, Derek, no matter what you're doing. And I'll tell you, I'd never been knocked so much as when I started posting Jackson's big fish. Guys just get so bent out of shape seeing him catch big fish. They say, "Oh, he didn't catch that." I'm like, "Well, go watch the video. It's right over there on the same channel that you're watching this short on."
Apologize for all the problems tonight, guys. If y'all see a computer go flying, oh man.
So, what's the weather supposed to be like Saturday?
For us, it's supposed to actually be pretty decent here, Chris.
Y'all got a tournament, right?
Yeah, we got a tournament, JTC and all of us. Another tournament down on the Santee Cooper on the north end of it, and it's actually supposed to get back almost to like 71 or 72, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be in the 70s here Sunday or Saturday.
South wind.
I believe so.
Jesse, we got a south wind?
I think so.
What kind of wind is it for that day?
I'd have to look at my phone. I don't know if it'll take me out of this app or not.
Yeah, better not do that. Man, if we can get if we get a 10 to 15 mile an hour wind, I'm thinking I might have to go up to Texoma if y'all want to go.
Chris, I'm actually showing on my wind app a north wind Saturday.
Okay.
Yep.
It don't matter. Just go.
Either way, brother, I'm going to be right there.
Usually when it heats up here, it usually comes out of the south. I think.
Terry said the bigger the fish, the bigger the haters. I don't know what it is about having my son catching them that just makes certain people, they're like, that he didn't catch that or get what he had one where I think it was his first Bluecat Junior Lake record this past year. And I positioned him, he was riding it like he's a cowboy, right? And I videoed it and I put it up as a short, and I got freaking hate from that. For guys who are like, get the effing kid off the fish. I'm like, damn, what you didn't see is the 2 minutes before that it took me to position him And he's not sitting on the fish, but thanks, buddy. We've never heard a fish in 30 years. Every one of mine swam off.
Miss Paula, get with us. We'll get you some sent right out. She's got a tournament in Alabama and got to get some more weights.
Oh, nice. Well, hopefully you get on them good.
We definitely know somebody that can help you out.
We're fishing the Veterans Tournament on the 11th. That's going to be on Roger's channel, Muskrat Adventures. It's a Operation Vets with Nets tournament. I'm fishing with Charlie Villarreal. He's a retired Army. We plan on winning that thing. So, Jesse,
Heck yeah,
get you a vet. Get in on that thing, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to take a vet out. I got a few family members that are vets too.
He's having an online tournament 11th. I think it starts at 7 a.m. and it ends at 1. So we're going to try to raise some money for Operation Vets with Nets. It's going to be a fundraiser event. So
excellent.
Is that any body of water or?
Any body of water. I don't know where I'm fishing yet. I got to see what the weather's going to do. So Jeff said Saturday and Sunday, south wind 10 to 15, high 71 in East Texas. That sounds like some good fishing weather to me.
Heck yeah, it does.
So we've had north wind here for the past 3 days. We've lows in the low 30s, highs in the 50s. So I know that lake temperature's hovering right around 60 degrees.
Yeah, 60.3 where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm going back and refreshing mine, and it's now saying 69 on Saturday with a low of 51. So I'm ready.
Yeah, water gets in the 50s. That's right when it starts really getting good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when the bait starts grouping up good. Things start getting pushed out. You got these big fronts that blow through that group everything up really good. So Paula said she's going to win the trophy.
That's it. She can do it too.
Get you some.
Yeah, she can.
I would love to see her and Rebecca fishing. I bet that team would be one heck of a team.
Yeah, we ought to have some fishing events on our show.
That's it.
I don't know what the framework would be if we could have a challenge. Girls versus boys.
I don't want to fish against them too, man.
East versus west, something like that. I mean, we got guys all over, so we could do an east versus west or a north versus south. I don't know if that would be north versus south is kind of a big difference on what the fish are doing, but
yeah. Yes, women anglers only.
Well, we could do that. We could have we could get Paula to fish. We could get Rebecca to fish. Although Rebecca's got surgery coming up, so she's probably not able to do that.
Yeah, we got another round of it coming up. That's for sure. She's actually gonna have surgery in December, and I leave the next day for a 2-day tournament.
Uh-oh. How's that gonna work?
He's in trouble.
I told her, I said, I'll bring you home from the hospital, and the daughters and everybody can take care of you. We're gonna shoot back down to Santee for a big 2-day tournament.
Holy smokes! Y'all are hitting Santee hard.
Yeah, Santee's like once a month. We hitting that once a month, and then we got some other tournaments, in different areas. But yeah, that place right now is getting ready to turn up for some big fish.
Yeah, I need to get back into the tournament deal now that my son's big enough. Problem is, all our best tournaments have gone to that PFL like format where it's invite only, it's a camera on the boat. I'm like, how do I get back into that?
Yeah, Rebecca be on your. That's not good. Rebecca be on your boat, Miss Paul. Yeah, I would not want to fish against you two. All right. Well, we'll have to do that for soon here shortly when we come up to Tennessee.
Thanks for coming in, Derek. Appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate you, Derek.
I'm to show y'all the glow show. Let me see.
The glow show.
What rods you got back there?
I got the Mad Cats, the storm rods.
Okay, those things are lit up pretty good, man.
Yeah. Then I got these on the side and these two back here in the back. I don't know if y'all can see them or not.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they glow good.
Jess,
yeah.
I got probably 8 of those storm ones and the sunsets, and man, I love them.
Yeah, I fell in love with them, and I used to have all kinds of different colors on the boat. I still got them in my shed, and I take them gar fishing and stuff. But
that's what I did. I got a real nice set of gar rods. I got a nice set of carp rods. I got a bunch of spare rods that don't get used for anything. Like
Chris, we all make up excuses to some kind of where we can get more rods.
You saw that green. Got to get that green.
Rebecca said every time we come back from tournament fishing, my God, it takes you an hour to unload all the rods.
Billy, we'll get them to fish these online tournaments we do. So it's really just for fun fishing. But I figured if we did have a side like event, it'd be for the kids. So they can get their own prize or whatnot. I know I can get stuff donated for the kids.
Yep. Definitely about the kids, that's for sure.
Derek says y'all come up and fish a tournament with us in the Patriot Catfish Club. So I'm going to try to do that, Derek, but I got to have a boat because I damn sure ain't pulling the War Machine that far.
Derek, what part of North Carolina are you fishing?
I think they fish Lake Gaston.
Yeah, they're not too awfully far away from us. We might have to check that out. We do a lot of traveling up towards that area.
Paula said she's going to reveal her new rod this week, and she's so excited. That is awesome, Paula.
Yeah, congratulations, Miss Paula.
That's cool.
Heck yeah.
Paula is a legend.
Do a small catfish side pot.
I always do that. We always,
yes.
I'll have the small fish award, which usually is like a Mad Cat's rod, and maybe the last one we did. I had a couple of my guide buddies that donated guide trips, so the smallest fish got a guide trip. So, and I said I'm not going to give a guide trip to the big fish guy because he don't even want to use it. I mean, most guys that can go catch the biggest fish in a tournament not going to use a guide. So I was like, let's give it to either the skunk. I mean, we do skunk awards, and usually just so it's cool,
Derek, shoot me a message and let me know what kind of schedule on some tournaments up in that area. We will definitely love to check them out.
So the first tournament, the kids tournament that I held, my son won small fish, big fish, most fish. I'm like, damn, it's not supposed to be that way, but he caught one about that big.
Chris, that's a good question. Any tips for burping fish? I'm gonna let y'all answer that one.
Yeah, so burping fish, I'll go with why you burp fish and kind of the guideline. So if you're fishing in, usually it's called cooler water because the fish are a little more lethargic. And when you bring them up from about 25 foot or deeper, in the winter, they'll blow up. It's the air bladder. It's basically like the diver when a diver comes up too fast and gets the bends, the nitrogen expands into the blood. You get bubbles. Same thing with the air bladder. It expands. It blows up. Fish will blow up like a balloon. Feels real hard to the touch. And it's super common in the winter for bigger fish.
And you could take something as simple as this and burp them with no problem.
That's what I use.
Yeah,
right here.
There you go. That's it.
Now, before this, I used a piece of PVC, but I started using this sock stuff. This is what they put down somebody's throat. It ain't a PVC pipe; it's a piece of this surgical tubing. So
yeah, it works very good. That's all you need right there.
That's what I do. I usually will hold the fish up, not just laid down. I kind of hold them up. You'll put that down in the mouth, through the gullet, and you'll push it down to that air bladder, which is usually about a foot on a big fish. Obviously, a bigger fish can be even a little bit more. But you don't press hard. You just until it feels like it stops, and then you do that a few times. They'll release air, and sometimes they'll spit up some water.
Yeah, it definitely will help them. That's for sure.
And
definitely get you a tube and put it on the boat.
And the main thing is when you do turn them back loose, don't just let them go. Make sure they're going to go back down. And even if you do let it go and it goes belly up 10 feet, reel everything up, go get the fish, and stay with it. Sometimes you got to burp them a couple times. Sometimes they just kind of go into a tonic stage after they've been blown up. They don't even want to move. They need a little bit of something to get them going. So you just got to stay with them. I've never had one not go back down. They'll all go back down. Sometimes it may take. I've had them take 45 minutes, almost an hour.
Yeah, I was about to say we've had to work with some fish for quite a bit of time, but they will definitely catch back on. But definitely don't give up on them. Stay with them and make sure they go back down.
And when you got it in the water, you're just gonna go back and forth with it. You're not going forward and backwards. You're just kind of going back and forward. I mean, side to side. Just get a little oxygen in there, and usually they'll go back down. Now, I've had there is another little trick where you have burped them and they just don't want to go back down. Sometimes you can send them for a dive, where you just take the fish and you dive him down, and then he's gone. That's all he needs to wake him up. And that's kind of my last ditch effort, where the damn thing won't go down. I'm like, all right, I'm going to dive him. I'm going to send him down. And when you dive him, you just kind of keep an eye out about 10 feet from the boat. Make sure he doesn't come back up. Usually, most of the time, they will not when you send them for that dive. I don't know what it does to them that makes them go ahead and stay down, but it wakes them up and they go ahead and stay down. And that's the last ditch effort. So,
Colin, you have a good afternoon. Yeah, get with us tomorrow. We'll definitely get you taken care of.
All right, Paula, we'll see you. We'll talk to you soon.
Got all these jets flying by. I was going to anchor by the base, but I figured that'd have been way too loud.
It sounds like it's lively out there tonight, brother.
Oh, man. Yeah, right here on this base. It's pretty neat. I'll anchor right under the runway. And
yeah, it's cool to see those fighters fly over, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're almost nonstop out here.
Yeah, I imagine especially right now they're going overtime.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going through everything that I need to get today because normally I do it in September, but I've been procrastinating. And so today I ordered some Mad Cat's leader line, 80 pound mono leader line. Been wanting to try that, but I need some bait shears. So, I was using some surgical shears and they worked great. And then I switched to fishing shears, and I've gone with ugly stick, and I've got a pair of freaking Bubba's, and none of them work worth a crap. So do you guys use bait shears to cut off fins and stuff? And if you do, what do y'all use?
Sometimes I will. Usually I just cut me a chunk and put it on the hook.
Yeah. Jamie, do you use shears?
Chris, very rare, man. Normally I'm just like Jesse. Normally I'm, chunking them up. If I do anything, I'll take a pair of scissors and lightly just cut my fins just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't really spend a lot of time on it, man, because I'm gonna be honest. I've had just as much luck just by throwing it out there, chunking it out there, than
Yeah. So here's my deal. So when I'm using these stinger rigged baits, right? Okay, so you put the first stinger through the nose. I'm using a bait that's about 8 to 10 inches whole.
Yeah.
And the tail's cut off, so it's missing the tail. Normally it'd be probably 14-inch fish, and you cut 2-inch the tail fin off.
Yeah.
Now when I hook it through the nose with a 10 or 12-aught hook, if you spin it around, that dorsal fin is the same distance of where that hook is. So when it fouls into that damn dorsal fin. Now, the other thing is when I put my stinger rig through the back behind the dorsal fin, and it's trying to curve up, sometimes when you're slinging it, it gets hung on that dorsal fin. So I've started cutting those off with my bigger baits and to try to eliminate that.
Yeah, definitely on that rig, Chris. Definitely for sure, because you would need to get that clear so you wouldn't have that to rehook in itself.
I'm just tired of buying these damn shears and them not working worth a crap.
I have had the Bubbas and all that stuff, man. But
the problem with the Bubbas is they detach so that you can clean them. Well, hell, every time I use a thing, it becomes detached. I'm like, want to throw it in the lake. And then, so my buddy's like, well, try these. He owns the tackle shop. He's like, well, try these ugly stick ones. Well, those won't even hardly cut. Like, they're junk. Like, total junk. So I tried these, but I tried these new ones, but these aren't made for that. These are made for trim and line, not made for cutting through a dorsal fin and tail fin. So that's why I asked. That's one thing I need to get something.
I was trying to see if I had a set laying around, but I don't. They must be on the boat. Everything I got's on the boat.
Milton says, Chris, do baits eat fish without fins? I can tell you, we catch a lot of fish without fin. I mean, we catch a lot of fish on baits without fins. And the only reason I do it is because when I'm throwing my biggest baits, when I lose a really big fish, 95% of the time, the thing comes back with a fouled hook. So the reason I'm doing it is just to eliminate a fouled hook.
Yeah.
Because my buddies that also go big, they're like, just drop it in the water. Quit sending it, Chris. I'm like, I just can't do it, man. I gotta send my stuff. It's 5 or 10 minutes less. Setup time if I'm send everything.
That's it.
Rather than drop it in and drag.
That's the way I do mine. I got to send it out. I got to get it on out there. Now, Chris, how much do you play with your electric motor while you doing that also?
When I'm doing what?
Setting all your boards and all that out.
Well, It all depends on how I'm fishing that day. So like, if I'm fishing into the wind, I spot lock. I spot lock. So when I spot lock, I find the fish, right? I figure out where they are on my run, and I'm like, all right, this is how I'm going to attack my run. And then I go to where I need to go at my starting position, and I spot lock into the wind. I'll then throw out my smallest sock, which is a 54.
Yeah.
I throw out my smallest sock out off the back Y harness, and then I cut my bait. When I cut my bait, I get all my bait. I take all my rods, I set them in the rod holders. I cut all my bait for 10 baits that I need. And then I start deploying. So when I deploy, I put my longest one out first, 45 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, I clip my board on, I move over here. I do the same thing, send it. Then I'll start my third board, and I'll go ahead and bait it up, send it out. Then I go to my motor and I start it. I start pulling.
Yeah.
On my third board. This is just over time. This is what works for me.
That's it.
To get everything out in 6 minutes, which is what it takes me to get 10 rods out, cut bait, get 10 rods out, and be fishing, takes me 6 minutes. So
nice.
After I get those 3, I move back over and I repeat the process until everything's out and I'm fishing. So Moose Knuckles says, Jesse, what's your go-to bait?
Right now I'm using carp just because I got easy access to it. During the transition, the bait's pretty much scattered on the shallows and just anywhere. So I'm not totally engulfing shad, so I won't switch to shad. I'm about to switch all to shad whenever everything groups up.
We've been on good fish for about a month. Before that we were catching them too, but we've been on decent fish for about a month where we're getting 2, 3, 4, 5 good ones a trip now. And they're all coming shallow and they're all around every time I've done when I get into them, they're around the gar, which I think when you're around them, that carp is a great bait.
Yeah. I'm not much anchor fisherman, so, I should have come out here pulling. Looks like I'm going to get skunked tonight in this little spot I anchored down in.
Oh, well, you're talking more than fishing, so you had some good bites.
That was my goal, was to...
You probably would have caught some of those if you'd have been paying attention.
Yeah.
Jesse, I tell you, brother, I know we love having you on our team level. We've been able to see all the pictures and you just killing some of the nice fish, man. Just tearing it up, brother. And I tell you,
I should have pulled some of your pictures off of some of these big fish you've been on.
And I definitely wanted to. When I found out you were here tonight, I was like, I want to tell you thank you from us, myself and Rebecca and everybody. We appreciate how you represent us. That's for sure.
JTC says he wants his money back from last tournament, Jamie, all $630. He'll wait till 3:30 Saturday if that's okay with you.
I'm going to go ahead and take his money Saturday, so I'll go ahead and get some more.
The Moose Knuckle says, why don't you slow drag on the bottom and suspend drift? So, I've done both for a long time, and I found that my suspended rods just rarely catch big fish. Now I'm fishing in, generally most of the year I'm in 50 foot or less. So I think suspended drifting is probably a deeper water deal.
Yep. Yeah. I'm always pulling slow, pulling boards.
Yep. Pulling the boards and trying to get everything away from the boat.
Yeah,
that's good.
Now I've had days where I had a day on Levon this past year where my kicker rods were just get hammered all day long, and those are my shortest lines out. They kick out straight to the side of the boat, and the bait's sitting about where my shortest point board is, so they're close.
Yeah.
those rarely catch big fish, but some days they really hammer them. So
those are my favorite too. When they usually, they pull drag good, just right
yeah,
there.
yeah, they know they're hung. They're
Yeah.
like, "What is this? I'm hung. It's time to get away." That's the one that's just freaking hammered down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
those are cool. So, that to answer your question, we've done it both ways. And if you're fishing these turbid mid depth lakes like most of our fisheries, dragging is the way to go, and getting your baits pretty much as far away from the boat as you can.
Yeah. Jeremy tells me, he said, "Man, dog, you got them boards out there. You need binoculars to see them."
I used to watch the boards, but I put my boards out there a long ways too, and I watch the line. I know what the line.
Yeah.
I watch the rods. I quit looking all over. I mean, I just, I've figured out how to maintain everything right here.
That's it.
Cuts down on the stress.
That's it. Looks like Jesse, what boards are you pulling?
I got the B-Cats. I've been pulling those for about 4 years. They discontinued yellow, and somehow yellow just became my fishing color. I'm not even a big fan of yellow, but it sticks out. So
yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
I like your yellow scheme.
But I wanted to get another pair. They discontinued their yellow, so I'm gonna have to switch it up on the next pair I buy.
Vincent said, "Tell Jesse to come to the island near the stump field, and he'll get the skunk off."
Shoot, I go drifting. I'll get the skunk off. That's for sure.
I went through that stump field and we caught fish all through there. Then when we got off into that channel, we caught fish. And when we got up by that island, it said it was supposed to be 12 feet deep or something. We got up into a foot of water. The boat just it started, the trolling motion hitting the bottom. It's like, it says we're in 12 feet. That ain't right.
As far as putting the boards out real far, it all depends on where I'm fishing. I have gone out where I've got way over half of the spool out.
Yeah,
as far as the boards,
I've gotten out there too whenever I'm really trying to cut. But I'd say when everything's pulling right, mine's about 150 feet.
Yeah,
from the boat, my longest.
Yeah, it's weird when myself and Jeremy we go fishing. He does the boards on the right side of the boat, totally different than I do on the left side. So he's over there, a little bit closer, and we're trying different things out. And mine are actually a lot further out, and I've got my spread a little bit different. And actually doing it that way, we've learned that one side of the boat might work better than the other side, so you can adjust.
Well, yeah, there's generally one side of the boat that's going to do better. Yeah. It's probably because of the structure that you're hitting rather than something being different. But I do know one thing. Over a long period of time, your furthest board will catch your biggest fish. But there's also something to how you position it to your boat, because big fish, when you see them move out from the side of the boat, they're generally 50 to 80 feet from your boat.
Yeah.
They were under the boat's coming, they leave. They're 50 feet out or they're 85 feet out. They generally don't move a whole lot further than that. They spook out there. Now, if you got a board that's pulling too hard and it's too close and it's not long enough, that fish doesn't have time to calm back down where he'll take that thing. So there is a sweet spot. Now, every day it can be a little bit different, and some days it's that middle one that catches the fish because that's where they're pushing out to. But if you put them out there far and at the right angle, you're going to catch a lot more the biggest, baddest fish. You're going to catch on those. You will never catch them on the long lines. You will never catch them. I mean, you will occasionally catch them on the shortest, but it's like 9-1.
That's it.
Yeah, I like pulling boards, man. I fell in love with it as soon as I got a set.
So Rich says, is that the board or the total length? That's the board. And the length from the board is determined for me by how deep a water I'm in. If I'm in deeper water, I can long line the heck out of it. So,
yeah,
if
you're going over anything, don't want to get snagged. You got too much long line out.
Moose Knuckles says 100 yards between my outside boards. Now, there's something to covering the water that you're hitting, and if your boards are too spread out, there's fish going through your spread.
Yeah,
and I know one thing. I used to keep mine way out there, and I have found there is a sweet spot in a lake when you're going over them that they push out to, and if you could position those boards into those sweet spots right where those fish are headed, and then they're long enough where they gives them time to calm down, you'll catch your biggest fish. You're missing them if you're not doing that.
Yeah, you are right.
Yep.
There's different techniques for different situations. It all depends also on the area you fish in. You might know that there's an area way over here that you need to hit, but you also need to be hitting one that's maybe not as far over on this side.
Yes.
So I do what I call the tractor rows. When the tractor goes down, makes a row, you kind of position them. So when you do go over, you might run 5 or 6 boards on this side. You might run 4 or 3 or 4 on this side.
Milton, that's part of it too, man. If you have to go really slow and you go long, sometimes you got so much line that is in the water, the drag of it gets it where your boards, you're not even really, it's like pulling bobbers.
That's it.
You're not even spreading. There's just so much drag from your line that's laying in the water. So there is a lot that goes into dragging, and there's a ton of little finer things that separate a guy who's been doing it for this amount of time to a guy who's really successful at it. So 40 to 70 feet apart. So mine are more my boards are probably, I would say my boards are probably about 10 yards apart. And my spread, I don't have the distance back, that varies greatly depending on the wind and all that. But the distance between my boards, maybe 15 yards max. I don't go much more than that.
Looks like it was Jesse's turn to.
Jesse's out of here.
But Chris, while we have an opportunity, man, I just want to say thank you to all of our people that supports us. That's for sure, and all of our good partners, and all of our people that that we represent and they represent us.
Yep, I think about that every day. I'm like, man, we got a great group of folks that are. A lot of them have become like family members. Tons of friendly, like-minded people. That's what really the fun part of it all is getting to meet so many guys. I can't wait for CatCon.
I know, man. We're looking forward to it. We're already, man, Rebecca's been just going crazy. And now we started the new business, Carolina Custom Embroidery, and custom shirts and embroidery. So it's matter of fact, it's been going crazy. We got, I believe, a little over 600 short shirts that we've got to get up and get out the door, and it's been wild. And Carolina Lake Weights this week is the rattles has been going crazy. The hooks is going crazy. I mean, the weights, man. People are putting in some big orders, getting stocked up for the winter time.
Yep, that's good stuff, man. I know it was a little slow period there for a little while. I've heard a lot of guys in the tackle industry say that kind of last month is kind of a slow month, but I know I've heard a lot of guys putting in orders. You know, I've been putting my orders in, so
that's it. And a slow day for us anymore is like 20 to 25 orders, you know, so that's a slow day for us anymore. But you know, we love it, man. We enjoy it. That's what it's all about.
Like to get some fishing shows going where we're actually out on the water catching fish. But I'm not. This time of year, I start fishing daytime. So, I mean, I generally fish daytime anyway, but I don't fish nights usually. Fall or winter, I daytime fish. The colder it gets, the less I want to be out at night.
I know what you mean. That bed sounds awfully good right now at night when it's cold outside.
But I'd like to get some fishing stuff on, you know, while we're on the water, maybe get Milton to fish and get all of our guys that really hammer them good to all try to fish on the same day and put it on our channel.
That's it, brother.
So I guess we lost Jesse. He fell out, and I know you got to get up early, so Jamie's got to get up at 4. Well, he's got to be there at 4 a.m., right?
Yeah, 4 a.m. in the morning.
Man.
It never slows down, brother.
You'll never get used to that one.
No, not at all. But, you know, like I said, we're looking forward to a lot of great things. A lot of great things is happening.
Anything you want to show off before we head out? Some new stuff that's coming out? Or what's been selling?
Man, these this week, brother, the new rattles that we have, they have been flying out, you know, 10 to 15 packs an order. So these bad boys, we got, you know, get you some way you can. We definitely have a heck of a good price on them. So, and our other rattles, I mean, we getting orders, you know, crazy orders on those right now. Matter of fact, we got all the machines running 24/7 on those. So them things is flying out also. So it's working. Everybody's loving them.
Well, our live stream season's fixing to start up. I get so many of my guys say, man, when are you going to start going live again? When are you going to start going live again? So we'll probably start going live again. Maybe this next trip or the trip after. So I really like to hammer. I want to be on them good when we start going live. I don't want it to be, we caught 3 good fish. I really like to catch a bunch. That usually fires up in November for us, where we're really starting to hammer big fish. So I'm looking forward to it. It's been too long, man. This talk show. The talk show's fun, but I like fishing. I like.
There you go. There you go, man. But you know, like I said, brother, I've had a blast tonight, Jesse. You know, he either he knocked his phone in the river or the lake. He caught a big one, so you might check on him for sure.
Milton said he knows he'll need some once he gets going. So I've seen Milton the past week. He's put up 3 different posts about. He's like, oh, this weather's coming. Oh man, here we go. It's go time.
Yeah, everybody's getting excited, man. So the big fish are kicking up. So hopefully we can turn it up here.
Yeah, we're long overdue for a monster. I've caught a lot of 20s and 30s this last month, but it's time.
That's it.
Time for us to start hugging 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s.
I can't wait. That's for sure. We got a chance to hug a nice one a couple weeks ago, so that's just
that looked fun. Rich says boat's out of commission for 2 weeks. Enclosure's getting put on.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I need to I got a half enclosure and I need to go slap that thing on. Supposed to be 70 though, Saturday when I'm fishing. So
that's it, bro.
Probably don't need it yet, but well, Jamie, I guess we lost our guy.
Yep, we lost the man of an hour. So
yeah, but we had a good time. We got next week on the show. We got Daniel Armstrong with Southern Monsters Guide Service. He's one of our top anglers here in Texas. He's won the Cat Masters, and he generally places in the top 5 on all these tournaments he goes to, no matter where he goes in the country. So that ought to be a good one to he's a guide. His dad was a well-known guide here in Texas for the last 20 years. So he's got it in his blood. That'll be a good show. And then we got another show after that for efficiency and effectiveness. So increasing your on the water success. So
can't wait, man. We got some awesome stuff coming up. That's for sure.
A lot of new products coming from Carolina Lake Weights and new swag coming. So,
man, it ain't slowing down, brother. We got all kinds of new stuff happening. That's for sure. And
got
then
something new every week.
Every week, that's it. So everybody, when you get a chance, go check us out. www.carolinalakeweights.com. I can promise you, take you a little bit of time. It's going to take you a while to go through all the stuff, get you some stuff, and hope you enjoy it.
Well, guys, we had fun. We appreciate everybody coming in. Go over to Carolina Lake Weights YouTube channel and give them a subscribe or a follow. If you're not subscribed to Elgato Azul TV, there's that mosquito. I got him that time. Took all night.
You got him, brother.
Yeah, so go over to Elgato Azul TV on YouTube. Give us a follow. If you got any questions, you can contact us on Facebook. But Jamie, is fun.
Like always, brother. I've enjoyed it.
Good luck on your tournament. I'll talk to you in the morning for
all right, brother.
For Carolina Lake Weights, for Elgato Azul. Tight lines. God bless. Azul out.
Later, y'all.